Okay, so here is the issue. There's a couple issues. First, you want to make sure that you're naming things correctly. So this should be called index.html and project1.css. So make sure you make those changes before you actually connect things so that it has the correct naming structure. I just uploaded a video today that actually had something about directory structure and what your folders should look like. And it had something about how to compress or zip a folder. So make sure you look that over. If you don't get a chance to look that over, to compress a folder, you right-click on it. And there usually is something called compress or zip there that allows you to compress it. And then you just send this file. So mine does a zip because it's a Mac, but yours may do something else. So then you just attach this file, the zip file, not the folder itself. Okay. So that's one question. So if we open up these files, so again, the naming structure, make sure you don't have any capital letters. And it should be called index.html, index.html. Okay, so if I open this up in Dreamweaver, there are still a couple problems. You've repeated this top part. There's also a table in here, which we're not supposed to use tables, so make sure you don't use tables. So what I'm going to do is, for me, I'm just going to delete all of this section, and it will go away. So there you go. You have everything. That's how it should look. It should just have the doc type at the top, the HTML. It should have a head. You're missing a head. So it should also have an opening head tag, and then a closing head tag, and then an opening body tag. Okay, so this should be how yours looks. So you want to make those changes first. Get rid of that section and then put in this opening head tag. Okay, so when we go back into, sorry, let me go back into here. Okay, so sorry, let me put it back in code mode. Okay, so when you do this, the two files should be in the same folder. So yes, you should have the project1.css in the same folder. It looks like right from here that you had it in a different folder, and that's one of the reasons it probably works, but you had it in a slightly different folder. So that's fine. You should have them in the same folder though. They should both be in project1_website. And then if they're both in project1_website folder, then this is what the href would say. It would just tell you the name of the CSS. Okay, so that's another thing. So once we do that, and we look at it in Firefox, you have most of the colors and all of that stuff put in. If you look down in your CSS, you have your body, your H1, your PE, all of that stuff works perfectly. Okay, so you're at the place, now that this is all working out and you've gotten rid of all that extra stuff, you need to go ahead and you need to put in your divs. That's the second demonstration. So you need to make sure you put in something called a div ID. The tag is div and the attribute is ID. And I'll show you how to do one very quickly just so you have some kind of idea. So for the sidebar, if I wanted to put a div in, I would put in div ID equals sidebar, right? And so this just tells it that we want to put it in a box called sidebar. I made up the word sidebar. It doesn't matter what the name is, but it just needs to have that. And div is the opening tag. Now we go down to below where everything that we want to have in there is in there. So, okay. And right above main section, I'm going to close this tag. And what that means is if I close it, then the stuff that's in between the opening and the closing tag is going to be in my box. So now if I go into my CSS and I select my sidebar, and the way that you select it is because it's, if I were just going to select the div, or all divs, I would select it that way with div. But because I want to select this specific div, I want to select sidebar, right? And so the pound sign or the tag or the hashtag is how you select sidebar. And then I can go ahead and give it a background color. So brown dash color. If I give it a color now, then I can do some things like I can give it a width. Right, so you can start adding some things. So I added a background color and a width. And now if you look at it, Firefox. There it is. There's your sidebar. Okay, and then you do all the rest of the stuff that you need to do to it based on demonstration 2. Okay, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any more questions.